Jared Polin, Fro Knows Photo.com, here with another photo of the week. This is the first photo of the year 2011, and it is a photo of my friend Julie, who needed a image taken for some magazines that she was going to be published in for her blog, her quilting. That's why there's all these down here in the bottom. You have all these different colored fabrics. So the setup, this is different than what I normally show you guys because I used one strobe. Actually, I used one white lightning, which I triggered with my pocket wizard, and then in the background I had my SB800 being triggered wirelessly, just kicking some light in the background so that I didn't have a totally dark background or just weird looking colors in the back. Before I get to the edits, which are really simple for this photo, let's just talk about the lighting setup. Really, I was in a very small area. So I had my D3S. I shot with the still 70-200 2.8 version 1 at the time. I basically stood through a doorway so that I could fill the frame the way that I wanted it, because this is not cropped. It's shot raw, of course, and this is exactly what I was looking for. A nice smile, nice background blown out. You can see the corner of the sewing machine, some more thread and stuff in the background with some quilts hanging on the wall. So this is ideally, you know, it was for a column. So when you're shooting photos, you have to determine what it's for so that you can try to figure out how to best do the photo. And this one was for a column that she would be writing, and you know, I felt that this photo would have been the best. I don't think they ended up using this one, but I like this one. So off to my right-hand side, probably at a 45-degree angle, I had my white lightning with an umbrella on it. So I was shooting into the umbrella, which is giving me the nice soft light that you can see around her face, and she's lit. And the settings I went with, being that I'm shooting with a flash, you keep it below 1/250th of a second because that's the sync speed of the Nikon D3S. So pretty much the shutter speed is almost irrelevant at this point. But it was 1/25th of a second at f5.6, ISO 200, and 190, almost zoomed all the way out on my 200mm lens with the Nikon D3S. So you can see as we zoom in, it's nice and sharp, right on the eyes. Her whole face is nice and sharp, which is what you want, some of the hair, before it starts falling off into the background. Now, simple correction here, because as you notice, when you shoot with the strobes, you introduce a ton of light, and your colors and your tones are very close to being right on, and you don't need to do as heavy as corrections, especially when I got my light right. I don't really need to correct for exposure because I metered properly. I probably used my a light meter, which many of you guys probably have never used. I still have a light meter back from college when we used to meter for shooting with film. So I basically did that here to get the nice lighting. I probably, if you want to get into things, I could have put a kicker over onto the left-hand side of the frame, which would have kicked some fill light back into her face. But hey, you know, for me, quick, shoot, get it done, easy. Now, the only correction, well, one of the only corrections that I found here, of course, contrast. You ready? 3, 2, 1, boom! There you go. You got some nice contrast there. I don't want to go too heavy, but see, flat, boring, boom! Nice and good. My white balance was set to flash. I'm just going to pull back slightly on that. There we go. And you can see that we could pull back a little bit. You know, clarity you don't want to overdo because that's what happens. So just a little bit of pulling back on clarity. Let's go backwards. There we go, -7. You can still see nice and sharp. I got my general sharpening, which I can show you down here is, yeah, there's the amount, 45, radius is 1, detail 39, and masking is 70, and I'm really happy with what this photo has given me. So, you know, that's really it for this week. It's something different than I normally show you, but as you can see, when you get your exposure almost right on, there's not a lot that you need to do when you're shooting with the strobes to make corrections. A lot of it is just adding the contrast and going from there. So that is that. I like this photo. I like it. Julie's cool. She's fun to hang out with. She's a blogger. I'll put up her link here so you can check it out. And that is the photo of the week for this week. Jared Polin, Fro Knows Photo. strobe.com. See ya!